This Manchester United team is a disgrace. They are lifeless, they have no energy, and they're so frustrating to watch. As fans, we are always excited for the match. We have passion, but the problem is our team doesn't have that passion. When I watched this team in last match, there was no improvement from the other derbies. This team always quits before the match even starts. Our own players are scared of the opposition before the match starts. The thing is, there is no basic understanding of football in this team currently. They can't pass a ball, they can't defend, they can't shoot. It's such a fundamental problem that it's amazing to see in a club as big as Manchester United. Like, how can you not pass a football 4 meters in front of you? In the whole match, no one could pass a ball. Like, how are you a professional footballer, but you cannot do four simple passes in a row? It's just so stupid. We are gonna get stuck in this loop if bold decisions aren't taken. Our whole team is a disgrace. They just don't want to push for the team, for the badge. In this match, I saw so many times players who can't pass and players who are just jogging back when they lose the ball or when they see there's a counter attack happening. When we are defending, the players themselves don't know what to do. They look behind them. If there's no one pressing, then they will go press. But they don't automatically start pressing. They don't have it as a habit to press. The same was with overlaps. Whenever City had an overlap going, the Manchester United defender had to look, is someone tracking it? No, then they will go track it. It wasn't instinctual to track the runners. That's the problem with this team, is that there is not a single player who's good currently. They are at decent level at best, but there's not one player who's good. The only reason it was 3-0 was because of Onana. Onana saved us from being defeated like 6-0 or 7-0. Haaland could have had like 4 or 5 goals easily, and he saved us from that. That's how bad we played. Thing is, this match wasn't fault of one individual. As a whole, our whole team was bad. The whole team, from the manager to the players. I'm a fan of Ten Hag. I've always supported Ten Hag. But this match, he was so much at fault. For defense, I wouldn't even blame him. Like, how can you expect a manager to put a better defense than he has? We currently have 7 defensive injuries. Wan Bissaka, Martinez, Malacia, Shaw, Reguilon, Varane. Reguilon and Varane were on the bench, but they had not matched it. I know Ten Hag said in the pre-match conference that he's picking Lindelof and Evans for tactical reasons. But the thing is, he was lying. We know Ten Hag likes to lie in press conferences. He said Ronaldo is a great, sold him. He said De Gea is a important part of the team, sold him or let him go out of the club. He said Maguire is a top professional, dropped him from the team, dropped him from the captaincy. So Ten Hag likes to lie. There is no way that Varane and Reguilon were match fit. They were both used as substitutes in the last game. And even in this game, Varane was on the bench, he wasn't substituted on. Reguilon was also used as a substitute. So if you give a manager a back four of Delo, Evans, Maguire, Lindelof, how can you expect him to win? I just don't understand what these fans wanted. Half of our fans are reactionary, and half of our fans are using this thing for clicks, for views. They all just want to jump on the bandwagon of firing Ten Hag, but they don't want to see logic or reason. If you put out this defense, how can you expect to not concede goals against Erling Haaland? But my biggest issue was midfield. I know we have defensive injuries, I won't blame him for it, but I will blame Ten Hag for the defense, for the midfield that he chose. Why are you choosing Eriksen in a big match? We have seen the whole of last season that Eriksen cannot play in big matches. Eriksen gets outrun every single time whenever he plays against a big team, be it Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool, and of course City. In this match, we saw whenever a City player had a ball, no matter who it was, whether it's Guardiola, whether it's Rodri, whether it's Stones, they all just ran past him without any issues. They were just running past him and he couldn't keep track. He couldn't tackle, he couldn't keep track. And most of all, Eriksen couldn't pass the ball in this game. I saw so many times where he just couldn't pass the ball 5 meters in front of to his teammate. I know he put in a good cross for Rashford, which he ended up missing. But besides that, he was horrible. He shouldn't have been picked. He should have come on as a sub. Mount should have started this game in place of Eriksen. Mount should have been played as a number 8. Or at the very least, put him on the right wing if you don't want to play Anthony. There were so many problems in the midfield. Eriksen was playing. McTominay shouldn't have started. He's scoring goals, I know. But outside of scoring goals, he offers nothing. He cannot pass, he cannot defend, he cannot carry. Bruno on the right wing again. Bruno is a great player. He's one of our best players. But why do you keep putting him on the right wing? You are pushing Bruno out of his best position for McTominay, who's trapped. McTominay can score goals, but outside of that, he offers nothing. So I want McTominay to be a super sub. Bring him on the last 30 minutes, in the last 20 minutes to go and score the goal. That's his best position. Ten Hag is at fault. Eriksen shouldn't have played. McTominay shouldn't have played. Bruno should have been at camp. If you don't want to play Anthony at right wing, I understand. Play Pellistri. Pellistri has been so good in the matches that he has played. He can run a lot more than Bruno. He can track back. And more than anything, he plays like a proper winger. He can put in crosses. He can run to the byline. He can dribble. Bruno needs to stay in the camp because when he's not in the camp, when he's playing on the right wing, he doesn't do anything in the game. Anything. It's a waste. And when he's wasteful like that, the fans turn on him as well. People are saying that Bruno is not captain material, that Bruno is a waste in this team. But on the other hand, if Bruno's not the captain, who's the captain in this team? Varane, he's injured. Casemiro, everyone hates him somehow. Rashford, he didn't want the captaincy when Ole was the manager. So who do you put as your captain if not Bruno? Just answer me that. All of these reactionary media and reactionary fans who loved Bruno till now are saying Bruno is the worst player in the team. How is that possible? Bruno has created the third most chances in our team. Not even in the team, in the league, third or fourth most chances. So how can he be the worst player if he's creating that many chances? And not only that, he's our best presser. He wins the ball the most in that team. Other than that, Rashford needs to be dropped. He just cannot play any more matches. Rashford is now a purple patch player. It's now guaranteed that we know he's a purple patch player. For those who don't know what is a purple patch player, it's basically a player who is consistent at being inconsistent. That basically means he will only perform for a short period of time and then he will go invisible. Then again a short period of time, then go invisible. That's Rashford's 8-year career in a nutshell. Last season we saw his purple patch from like December till March. And then he goes invisible. Currently, he's again going through that form. But the problem is, Ten Hag is going to keep playing him until he gets one goal. But my problem with that is drop Rashford, drop Bruno, drop Eriksen, drop McTominay, and instead Play the players who deserve it. Play Garnacho, play Pelistri, play Mount. And I just forgot about it. The biggest headache is the referees. That penalty that was given to Rodri was never a penalty. It's just so annoying to see. That thing happens like 7 times in a match, in any match. For years that has happened, but they never give a penalty for that. But somehow they give a penalty in a derby. Like, how does that make any sense? This same thing happened when we were playing against Arsenal. Gabriel was basically just holding on to Hoyland and he dragged him down. And you know what? That wasn't even checked by the VAR. But now suddenly Rodri was held back a little. He dived and suddenly the VAR wants to give that as a penalty. The VAR looked at it for 2.5 minutes. It wasn't even a clear penalty. 2.5 minutes they checked and then they decided to give a pen. Like, that's corruption at its finest. City already has 115 charges. Add one more to it. Like, it's so obvious that cities are getting favorable decisions. Kovacic wasn't sent off in the Arsenal game. They had an offside goal against Fulham, and now they get a penalty which is never given a pen. What I want is now from now on, I want to see 4 pens given in every match. Whenever that happens, whenever any player grabs onto other player, I want to see that happen. First penalty is what changed the game, because at halftime, Amrabat was subbed off because he got a yellow card. And you know why he got a yellow card? Because Foden fouled him. And the referee ended up giving a yellow card to Amrabat. This referee is what made us lose the game in the first half. People are going to say it doesn't matter. You still lost 3-0. It does matter. If the pen wasn't given, if Amrabat wasn't given a yellow card, we would have stayed at 0-0 at halftime. Amrabat wouldn't have been subbed off. These are the things which the reactionary fans and the fans were just talking for the views don't see or don't want to talk about. If Amrabat was still without a yellow card because Foden fouled him, and if he didn't got given a really bad penalty, it would have stayed at 0-0 and Amrabat wouldn't have been subbed off. For the second goal, McTominay was playing as a CDM. I just don't know why. Amrabat on a yellow is better than a McTominay at CDM. That's an obvious fact. But the thing is, people are complaining that why is McTominay playing as CDM? McTominay played at a CDM last week also against Sheffield. But people just forget that. Last week, we had the same substitution where McTominay played at a CDM and we had Eriksen come on to play as a cam. In this again, we had McTominay play as a CDM and Mount as a cam. So if we didn't have that yellow card, if we didn't have that penalty, it would have been a completely different game. For the second goal, once again, how is a 6'5" lethal striker left alone in the box? You have the world's most dangerous box striker and he's unmarked at the back post. How does that happen? We have 3 defenders, Lindelof, Evans and Maguire, and none of them could mark the biggest threat in the box. That's just basic common sense. Like, how can you blame the manager for a bad performance if our defenders cannot do something as basic as marking the opponent's striker in the box? I'm not here to defend Erik Ten Hag. He was at fault for this match, but he wasn't the only reason. Maguire was bad at passing. He did well at defending at times, but was really bad at passing the ball. Bruno was bad. Rashford was bad. Eriksen was bad. Mount was bad. what do you want a manager to do if they cannot do the basic things? For the third goal, I just they were always gonna score more goals. It was a miracle that it only stayed at 3-0. So my issue with this is we know we have a lot of problems. We know we are not tactically strong against City. But the thing is, somehow the fans were expecting us to win against City with a weakened team. Like, I don't know if they're living in a dream, if they're living in an illusion, but that was never gonna happen. We were always gonna get dominated in this game, and we would only have like 2 or 3 chances. But the thing is, last season when we defeated City, we took those chances and scored. In this match, we had 3 clear-cut chances. Hoyland with a one-on-one when he got pushed by Stones, but of course the VAR didn't check it. The VAR didn't give a foul or penalty for it. Of course, Rashford had a chance where he just shot wide, which should have been a goal. And third, mctominay's volley, which of course he shot straight at Edison. If he had shot it either side of him, that was a goal. So it's just not that it's only the manager's fault. Our whole team as a whole is shit completely. They're lifeless. They cannot put any passion into the game. So it's just that our fans are so blinded by the media agenda that they cannot see their own team, that they cannot see their own circumstances. They see one media person saying Ten Hag should be sacked, and they all keep saying it. Carragher, he's always against Ten Hag. Gary Neville, he wanted Pochettino as United manager. So he has been always against Ten Hag. Paul Merson, I don't even want to talk about these low-level pundits who only want to say bad things about United just to get clicks. For people saying Ten Hag out, I am not Ten Hag out. I still support Ten Hag. People are saying we don't have a style of play. How can you have a style of play when you don't have your starting 11? People are going to say it's an excuse. Let me just say one thing. You take any manager you want in the league. You take Postecoglou, Arteta, Klopp. Well, Pep doesn't matter because he has a super team. You take these 3 managers, right, who are the top managers, and you take out all of their back 4 and 2 substitute defenders. You take out 6 defenders, okay? And then let me see what their style of play is. For Arsenal, let's take out White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu. Timber is already injured. These 6, let them be injured for the whole 10 matches. And then let me see how does Arteta play. How does Arteta dominate matches? Let Postecoglou's Pedro Porro, Emerson, Romero, Van der Ven, and Destiny. Let all of these be injured. And let me see how does Postecoglou win a match, or how does Postecoglou stay at top of the league. Like, people are so stupid that they cannot see that whole of last season we played well because of our defense. We had the most clean sheets. Our style of play is built on our defense with ball passing players. Without them, we were always going to be in a struggle. But of course, reactionary media, reactionary fans cannot see it. This team is a disgrace. This team is lifeless. Even with a lot of injuries, they should still be able to do basic things like passing a ball, shooting at goal, crossing the ball, tracking runners, but they cannot do that. I am not Ten Hag out, but Ten Hag needs to improve. He needs to do better with this team. Otherwise, he's going to get himself sad. If he keeps picking Rashford, Bruno, McTominay, Eriksen, these people need to be dropped. Eriksen is a good player, but he needs to be used as a substitute. But the other 3 need to be dropped and bringing other players. Otherwise, he's going to get himself sacked by December or January. The Glazers aren't going to sack him, but he himself is going to get him sacked with these poor performances. We still have a lot of difficult games coming up. Newcastle midweek, Chelsea, Liverpool, Bayern, Galatasaray. It's not going to get easy. It's going to get more difficult. And Ten Hag needs to get his ideas straight, drop the players who are bad, and do something in the midfield. Because if this midfield continues, we will keep losing matches. Our midfield is our weakest link right now. If we lose midfield, we lose a match. As simple as that. I hope something happens. Some change happens. McTominay gets dropped, Bruno gets dropped, Rashford gets dropped, and we see fresh young players like Garnacho, Pinistri, Mount, Meno, Hannibal. This something needs to change. Otherwise, I don't know what is going to happen to in this team. I hope you liked my video. If you did like it, please give me a subscribe and a like, and click on the like button. I would really appreciate any comments in the comment section down below, and let me know what you think of this match. What do you think of Erik Ten Hag? What do you think of the team? And if you like my content, I have similar videos which are gonna play right after this in my outro. I have a playlist of this season's reactions as well as Manchester United related content. So please do give it a watch. And yeah, that's it for my video. Goodbye.